Good morning. It's so good to see you. I'm Rita Cherubini, and my pronouns are she and her. And I am the worship chair for River of Grass. That has changed so dramatically. Sunday, March 15th, was the last day the worship team, as we knew it, performed its typical duties for Sunday morning. That service was very sparsely attended as the virus fear was spreading. We knew the following Sunday we would be pressed into a different kind of worship experience. The next afternoon, all the poetry readers arrived. It would be our last day at the river. We stayed distant and read our poems with Rebecca Rice, our videographer and director. Could we really pull this beloved annual poetry service off? Rebecca said we could, and what else could we do but believe her? We were plunged into being pioneers. Week after week, we solve the current challenges we know about and those that newly present themselves, like this morning. Here we are, our new normal 9 weeks later, testing the fortitude of presenting meaningful worship by those willing to think technically as well as spiritually, and me trying to determine what Mother's Day actually feels like this year by what I've been seeing on social media and what good deeds actually fill my life and the news. So what about you? Amid school closures and shelter-in-place mandates, many of you have added teacher, coach, germ police, and round-the-clock caregiver to your family members in and out of your homes. You are now the chief operating officer of your household. Did you ever think that would happen? Even with your full-time job, you are the principal of your school, the lunch lady, the custodian, the cafeteria worker. You're now the housekeeper and the gardener. And as the weeds grow in the garden, the laundry piles up. And who is doing it all? I watch my Facebook friends talk of their challenges, their kids' meltdowns, their responsibility for entertaining them, and their patience and fatigue of juggling home and office in the same space. There doesn't seem to be a gender attached to the jobs that have to get done. Dad's home, mom's home, whether you're a single parent, married, or in a partnership, or maybe just living alone. Grandmommies and granddaddies all together. The mother gene seems present in all of us. Do you still need to go to your office and meet people, touch things, and then decontaminate yourself when you get home? Stressful, not knowing if it's enough. Do you touch those grocery bags when they're delivered? The spraying, the gloves, the masks. Did the virus get in? Did I wash my hands enough? Am I doing everything in the right sequence to be safe? One thing is for sure, we are all worrying. Sheltering in place while keeping your job responsibilities, making sure children are prepared and ready for their Zoom school class, requires attention to so many details, overlapping meetings that conflict with classroom time, and the additional numbers of laptops you all need to participate. Reminds me of the traffic jams on school mornings when I was a young mother sharing it with 4 children. Are you distracted, forgetful, and find yourself needing to write things down to remember to keep your schedule and even to know, what day is it? Gender isn't playing out so specifically now when things need to be done. It's like camping. You know, we all get together and we're all excited about getting to that campground. Everyone has a job. I see dads as creative chefs and those doing the marketing, the bath givers, the nurturing bedtime readers, the dog walkers and playground assistants, right in their own backyard. It seems more specific, down to duties that have real, immediate family meaning. The roles are blurred, so what needs doing just gets done. A few weeks ago, a father might have been standing 2 feet away, but the kids would run across the house to have mom solve the problem, because that's what moms do. Does it take a massively disruptive, world-altering event to bring women's work forward and the work of men changed? When dad loses his job and mom becomes the breadwinner, will this pandemic leave some permanent change behind for those who found working situations improved by it? Will dads retreat or step up to be equal partners in raising their kids, as well as equally managing the spreadsheets of their work and the schedules of their family? Now, for the first time in the lives of today's children, petty squabbles and spilled milk are something to see daddy about, because mom's busy on a Zoom meeting. There have been other times when women's work suddenly became more important. World War II immediately comes to my mind, when women stepped up and did the jobs that needed doing while the men were off fighting. For the first time, women saw how valuable their efforts could be, and many didn't take kindly to being stuffed back into their former roles when the war was over. Our kids will know fathers can deal with sibling disputes and mothers can be the providers for their families. It's actually visible to them. Will dads willingly be more accepting to these switched parenting and breadwinning roles? When jobs end so fast, there's no time to prepare. As a young child, my mother told me she earned $35 a week, the same wage as a man, during the Depression. It became my foundation, my mantra. I would be equal. It was stamped into my memory. What is the message your children will remember? Besides the change in young family dynamics, nurturing calls come more frequently from friends and family for those of us living alone. I certainly check on my children too, more than so before. Even though they're all in their 50s, they're still my kids. I comment on friends' Facebook pages. I call those close by. Who needs groceries? Can I pick something up for you? Would you bring me some bananas? We live alone, but I find I am less alone. We are feeling the responsibility for checking up. It's that nurturing thing. For those we know and for others we don't know so well. I met an acquaintance at the grocery store last week. Why aren't you wearing a mask? I asked. Sheepishly, she shrugged, and a week later texted to assure me she was now using one. Asking those concerned questions, having an opportunity to do something for others, helps to relieve some of my own stress, something I have control over. It helps me to feel less isolated. When your voice comes from your heart, well, it's just a gift too good not to share. In the poem, If the Trees Keep Dancing, So Can I, one small paragraph struck me, and the first line is really tender. Hard times call for soft people. There is a softness in stillness, in staying home, in distractions deleted, in a togetherness that stretches great distances. So on this particular Mother's Day, in this particular year, we are human beings caring for one another without being gender bound, doing the work that needs to be done, caring for what needs to be cared for. I leave you with this thought. A mother's heart is never her own. Bits of it are sewn into the souls of her sons and her daughters' own hearts. Happy Nurturing Day to all who give and expect nothing in return, and for all of us being nurtured by music and words and people. Please give good care and take good care. Do it with thoughtfulness and a giving hand, nurturing as never before with your kindness. Let's take a moment as Brenda plays to remember those who have touched us with their caring gifts, no matter how simple. Be well.